So I'm sure you always hear people talk about how no one is really paying attention to you, Like no one's worrying about you, no one's thinking about you. And I mean this in the way like when you're out in the world, right? Like no one's worrying about what you're doing. No one is watching you. No one's paying attention. Everyone is in their own head, in their own shit. And it really is kind of just remarkable how true this is. So, when you just slow down and just kind of be where you are, right? And then just look around, everyone else walking around, everyone else around you. If you're just doing this, like if you just do this for a little bit, you will really notice how how much people are just in their own worlds, you know? And this is a really freeing thing because if you're anything like me, in the past, I used to find it very difficult. I would be very anxious around people. Um, I was always worried what everyone was thinking about me. I had this uh, very self-centered narrative running all of the time, but um, it was anchored in anxiety and doubt and worry, um, and I it would consume me, how much I would worry about how others were perceiving me wherever I was. It was crippling. And there's a lot of other things I did to, really get rid of this. But for this video, and this is really such a liberating feeling, and just so in such a calm way, because it's in real time you're seeing how true it is that no one's worrying about you. But to do this, you need to be willing to look. You know, you it can be hard to look when you have such an um, intense narrative running, on loop about what is everyone else thinking, or what about, just being worried about everyone else, even if there's not thoughts to it, even if it's just like, the feeling of being anxious around others. So, but if you are able to just sit there and just look and just be willing to see, and that's it, like in a very calm way, and just look around at everybody and just see, you'll realize that almost no yeah, almost everybody is just completely in their own thing. And the people that aren't, when you have a uh, random like connection, like if you both see each other, it is, from my experience, for the most part, I mean, there's nuances to this, but for the most part, it is just pleasant and normal and natural, because in that space there are just two people who are being present and not in their head, and they just acknowledge, you just acknowledge seeing each other in that way, and it's easy, and there's no need for, the anxiety. So I would encourage you, if you resonate with any of this, if you feel like you've been anxious or in your head around people, if there's any of that, that I described, just try to look, you know? Just be willing to look. Just be willing to see what is actually happening. See what is actually going on, you know? Because that is the corrective experience, right? That's the feedback loop that you need to break out of your current state, is to have the corrective experience of looking out and realizing, oh wait, no one is worrying about me right now. No one is actively watching me. No one is actively judging me. Like, I don't feel any of that here because none of that's here. So that must have been a false reality that I was creating. And so when you have the corrective experience, this will continuously break you out of the false reality that you've been creating and that you had anchored in. So the more you do this, the calmer your nervous system will get, the more relaxed you'll be able to be around people, and you will be able to just stay in reality and not go off into the false reality that is fueled by your anxiety, right? That false reality is literally created by the anxiety. So when you're living in that false reality, you're going to feel anxious. When you're actually living, actually, when you're actually living in reality, it will be whatever is true in that moment. And reality can be quite still. It is quite still. I mean, it's everything, right? I don't need to get into paradoxes here. I don't need to go into the whole thing about how it's like the most intense, chaotic thing that's ever existed. It existed. But also the most still, pristine, deep, I say still again, thing that has also ever existed. But I digress. Just be willing to look. Find out for yourself. Find out what you see. See what you see. If I was a betting man, I would bet that when you look up and see what's there in your reality, it's not going to be a room full of everyone staring at you, judging you. So, yeah, just be willing to look, be willing to see. So, all right, I am going to leave that video here.